super on top of getting your farm in time, like because teams.
It's greedier, right?
Yeah, they've been focusing really hard on these lanes.
Yep. And we see that PSG.LGD do ban out the Viper first. Meanwhile, Team Spirit with the Wyvern. Team Spirit has been banning out Wyvern, I believe, in the previous series versus PSG.LGD too. So something that they really don't want to have Y to have. And there we go. Chen is out. Is this a tiny first phase? What do you think?
It should be. I mean, Viper, Razor, and Chen are all out of the game, so Tiny is probably coming in.
There's no other big meta heroes that stick out to you that could be first pick?
I mean, there is the Marcy, but you rather have Tiny than the Marcy because Razor and Viper are banned. So what you gonna pair the Marcy up if both of them are banned? So
yeah,
I can see the Tiny.
For that first stage, I feel like, yeah, Tiny feels the simplest to open up with.
Shaker,
and there we go.
There he is.
You asked and LGD delivered.
That Prophet, there we go, Shaker, that Prophet. So Viper and Razor banned out, right? The only hero that kind of pairs really well with the Shaker on the offlane is DP. That remains. What do you feel? Do you like this combo? You guys don't do it way too much.
I mean, I don't play DP, so I don't. We do with Razor and Viper because I play them, but I don't play DP. I mean, the Shaker is good pair up with the. I mean, Razor and Viper are banned, and they have first pick Tiny, so I think here like they should 8 pick Enigma, like if they want something here, probably.
Oh, they get Zeus.
Do you feel that LGD are going to be doing a different strat with that Shaker DP? Is it going to be a little bit more in the early game focus for them that their lineup from game 2 didn't really have?
I mean, the last lineup they had, it was they were really focused on countering, picking the Viper and having good ways to play into Viper. But since now they banned it, now they can focus more on their game. So
they're just doing their own thing.
Yeah, they're doing their own thing instead of just trying to counter this Viper.
Yeah, and that normally bodes very well for LGD.
I like the Zeus a lot as well on Spirit as a response because you're not only disabling a Shaker Blink when you initiate, you're also giving vision of him pre. If they're making a play, if they're smoking, if they feel like they're in danger, they can pop the ult, they see what's happening. It just slows down LGD's initiation. On top of that, when Zeus gets his shard, he does provide a lot of percentage-based damage that helps cut through DP's pool.
If you're Spirit, then Shippo, do you think, you like the Zeus, right? But do you think that maybe Storm needs to get out here? Like, do you have to ban it? Storm and Puck still in the pool, heroes that get on top of Zeus easily?
Could be. He hasn't suffered too hard against Storm sometimes, right?
Yeah, they had a couple of good games on 4, right? Like if you delegate. Yeah.
Back in Tour 3, he played the Zeus mid a lot, but I don't think they're afraid of flexing it.
No. They ban on the Puck. Looks like they want to Zeus mid. Yeah. I mean, Puck is not even. I mean, Zeus is not even bad to Puck on mid. Just in the game.
Later on, right? Like you can catch him.
Yeah, I mean, in the game, Puck is good into Zeus, but in the lane, like Zeus just right-clicks him.
Yeah.
He has 1 armor and Zeus high damage.
I guess the benefit of Spirit's opening as well is the fact that Tiny and Zeus can both be swapped between mid and 4. Is there a hero, mid hero, that can do well against both of them, or normally one that does well against one is kind of iffy against the other one?
I think the DP. I think if they put DP mid, like he has a good matchup against the Zeus actually on the mid. So maybe they try to put the DP on mid. It looks actually good into both these heroes.
Is that only because you don't want to see DP on offlane? You don't like her?
No, I don't mind DP offlane. It's same concept as Razor kinda. He just buys
Razor and Viper, right? Like these frontliners with Shaker.
I mean the Razor Viper kinda not the same way. But, I mean Razor and TP in the same way. They both like rush first item BKB, click their physical damage and go fight.
Go straight, yeah.
Viper more of like making enemy 0-5 and killing people before their BKBs, and when they get their BKBs, Viper has like good items, so that
shard as well, right?
I mean, the shard is like if he wants to end the game, but if he doesn't want, like he buys some Dragonlance, Manta, Skadi, like things like this to right-click the BKB and just kills it.
Yeah, I heard you liked Manta on a couple of heroes as well on the offlane.
I mean,
happens.
Yes, happens. My team questioned me a lot.
Everyone's questioning a lot. We keep asking, why does he buy it on the Viper? Why is he buy? Will you ever reveal it?
Maybe on TI, fine.
That's okay, yeah. When he's won TI, we're good.
Well, I'm seeing these bans play out, one thing that comes to mind for me on Spirit at least is what Miposhka's hero is going to be, because he likes to play that Dazzle, the Chant, the Wyvern, and the Phoenix, but they're all banned out now.
I guess you have to dip into that extra pool. He's played a lot of different heroes this tournament. We've seen Clockwork, bit of Rubik, Warlock. There are other healing heroes if that's the angle they want to go for.
Yeah, they will reveal a lot more now when the second stage starts. Obviously, both of these openers are pretty flexible, not necessarily in a way in which they will lane, but in a way in which the drafts can go.
Okay. What do you feel like LGD are thinking about when they're looking at this ban?
I mean, they probably ban on 14 something to 15 support. Okay, they ban Terrorblade, so it looks like DP offlane.
Is it only because they have the DP on the offlane, or because Team Spirit already has, let's say, even the Zeus, who's pretty good versus TB, so it kind of denies them the opportunity to pick the TB?
I mean, they have Shaker. I mean, maybe if they could like get some 18 hero into Terrorblade with Shaker, like it could be fun into.
Could be good enough, yeah.
Yeah, it will be good enough, and they still have also another hero.
What is it? Spirit are going to be picking up a Beastmaster. I don't know what my voice just did.
It went pretty high. This is a hero that just deals really well with the Bane. I think it goes a little bit both ways, because Bane's Brain Sap is a really nice nuke to use against the boars if you're able to control how many boars he gets out. But when you hit those higher levels and he has 2 boars in lane, Bane really struggles with that. And it is easy to dive the tower, push the tower, take the map control. Bane struggles very hard.
We questioned what potentially was going to be Miposhka's hero. They pick up the Shadow Demon here. Amal, how are you feeling about him currently in this patch, but also this lineup?
I mean, Shadow Demon very good into, like, he can cancel the ban, and he good BKB control against DP, like, and the Beastmaster also. Like, I think this is such a great Beastmaster game.
Oh, PSG.LGD again with the Naga. Well, it is decent versus Beast, right? Like, in the laning stage, it should be solid.
I mean, yeah, it's decent, but I don't think this is an easy Naga game. Like,
right? Even into a Shadow Demon. Like, into a Zeus, into a Shadow Demon.
Yeah, it's like it's not like a free Naga game. Like, they have a lot of ways to deal with the Illusions. It's like he more of depushes the Beastmaster and spaces the lanes, so his team can find the pickers on the map.
Do you feel like it's a little bit of a confidence thing? They did so well game 2, they want to run it back, try it just with a different lineup, or that doesn't really work when you see what Spirit have picked?
If you're PSG.LGD right here, like, you're bringing that confidence back. Like, you're picking the same hero you lost with, and you're making a statement. That's what it is. Like, you don't care about, like, if the hero is the best in the current game or not. No, they obviously have a general idea behind the Naga. I think she's solid in the laning stage, like Amar said. Should be decent there. You also have decent amount of objective taking capabilities on your other heroes, something that they lacked in that other game. So even if Naga struggles to provide you with that early on, you have DP to take over.
Amar, do you think on this Beastmaster, are you going to go for an Axis build here, or are you still going to go for your boars to try and just deal with the Bane and then layer pressure Naga with more heroes?
I mean, I'm not really a Beastmaster player, but I mean, we will see what he does. I mean, think Wild Access, like, I see a lot of Wild Access builds. I mean, Boar is good into Bane, and Wild Access is good into Naga, so we will see how he plays it.
How are you feeling about that DP? Do you still not really like the look of it off lane, or are you waiting to see what Spirit's carry is going to be?
I mean, maybe they still flex it, like, if they get like some good, very good last pick for Fate Beyond against Yatoru hero. If he can punish it very well, I think they could actually just put the DP on mid.
Yeah, they did play before. Like, on Nothing to Say, they played the DP quite a bit throughout the seasons, so that's definitely an option for them. You can even see Team Spirit, they ban out one mid laner and then the Brewmaster, so they don't even know. They're kind of on the fence with that answer.
What do we think of another Pudge coming out on LGD? It's not banned, it's in the game, it's not too awful against Beastmaster. If he gets a Helm, you can kill the creep with your hook.
I wouldn't even mind it on Spirit.
Yeah?
Getting it on both teams, yeah.
I mean, actually, I'm not sure if Yatoro plays Pudge, but it actually looks good here. Like, he actually doesn't, like, I've seen a lot of budge into DP. I don't know why, but it feels like
It doesn't heal, right? Like you use the siphon on him on the flash heap. I think,
yeah,
right?
and the flash heap, and you don't take damage. And with a rot Aghanim on Pudge, good versus Naga. So yeah, there is no damage.
Does that apply to Bane as well? Right, like his brain sap on illusions, you get more heal back because you're doing more damage. But does it work on Pudge? Like if your damage is getting reduced, does he heal less? Because that would be a really nice interaction.
I'm about to open the lobby right now.
I know, right?
Real quickly check all these interactions. Yeah.
And so hopefully that we just see the Pudge come out then, right? And then we can know from it.
If there's a Pudge, the crowd better go wild. I think it's the most fun hero in this
They
patch,
get
in
the
this tournament.
Sven instead.
Well, they went wild. This time, though, it's with the Sven.
Wait, this hero is a little bit... Okay, Naga also has been quite dead as a core for a longest time, so bringing out the Sven, sure, you get the Beastmasters with the aura.
I mean, that's a great point, right? Naga has definitely not been the flavor of the month, definitely not this major. So, Lizard, why do you think that it is all of a sudden coming out in a grand final match?
Remember what we talked about earlier, every major grand finals, every best of 5 has its own meta. Teams are testing each other's boundaries a little bit here, and you can see it playing out perfectly with the Naga and then this Sven as an answer, but I personally would still value Naga a little bit higher.
I think it's a Chinese region thing. I think during Tour 3 it was something they were playing, because Lacoste mentioned it too going into some of the games we covered, just that they have liked it a lot.
They've played Naga a couple of times in the regions. I covered those games.
Yeah.
It never looked that great.
Never.
That's the problem.
Yeah, well, there we go. The Timber last pick is going to be that off lane. We see DP ended up going mid. So, Amar, how are you liking that all, especially this Timber last pick? We know you're a bit of a fiend for it.
I mean, he kind of doesn't die at the start, but it's not really the best Timbersaw game. Like, he's not... If he doesn't lane into Beastmaster, he's not that good into him. And if he doesn't crush this Sven on lane, he's not really good against him in game. Like Sven just goes to jungle and bursts him in game. Like it's actually easy.
Yeah. What about you, Lizard? Where are you aligning?
I'm gonna go against the Naga once again. Like I've seen it play out in the last game. I think PSG.LGD are picking it with a little bit of spite here as well.
Hey, it could be what they need, but she very, very quickly.
For me, massive fan of the Shadow Demon. I think he's going to have so much impact this game. I don't believe in this Naga. I think Dazzle carried a lot of their fights last time.
Wow, you are a big Team Spirit fan there. Let's see where our casters align. It's Lyrical, Trent, and Gunnar.
Thank you so much again, Nat, and we are here after an absolutely crazy game number 2, and now into game number 3. Naga again, a little bit of not what I was expecting, and I also don't have the Dazzle to back it up. Thoughts?
Yeah, we're gonna have to calm down. You know, Naga has level 1, no items.
Okay.
We have to start building up her items again. So the Timbersaw, I think, is a really nice pick, though. He has good core matchups. The Tiny, though, I think is really good. It gives him a lot of magic burst for the Timber. So the early game, I think, is the really big question. If the Timbersaw gets off to a good start, that's where he starts snowballing, maybe even by a BKB versus heroes or a Lincolns or a Lotus.
Yeah, it certainly looks like a necessity between the Tiny as well as the Zeus being there, plus a Sven to boot in the end. There is definitely no shortage of damage right now coming up from the side of Team Spirit. And the instant smoke as we get into the next one.
Both teams.
Oh, good luck, have fun's coming out there as well from both teams after a match like that.
You gotta enjoy the typing good luck, have fun while you're smoked up, looking for a first blood, or the classic, you type good luck after you get first blood.
I see. That's what we'll watch for. Yeah, if anybody happens to score that. But at least for now, ooh, they might reach some people up on that top rune spot. Nothing to say they run to Maposhka and collapse, but there's no chance. So they won't connect in for any kills. But yeah, a very different hero. We talked a little bit about the Naga Siren, but that Sven. I was kind of wondering if they were going to put it over to position 4 or something to do the Tiny, but opting to just run it for Yadaro. Shades of old types of games with this, ancient Korean hero.
I mean, the last time he was here, he was flying around, buying Aghanims. He was a cool hero. Maybe get a helm or something and stack it up, but long gone are the days, Now, perhaps into that Mask of Madness build where you go right to the Ancients. Likely be the way to go. Get yourself an Echo Saber and just do Sven things. I don't think it's anything too tricky this game.
They probably are hoping that it can carry the Shadow Demon out of the lane. He can just shove the lane in with Cleave. He has a stun. Generally you want these stronger carries with stuns when you have a weaker support like Shadow Demon in the lane. And then he'll also have the ability to jungle, giving Shadow Demon early levels, give him these level 6 timings. It's probably more so of a hero that's trying to complement their own draft rather than be a big nuisance for LGD.
Well, that's fair enough, as the 2 bounty runes will be traded off a piece and everybody heading out. Remember, in the last game, there were a lot of lane shenanigans as people were trying to dodge, but this time, completely straight up collapse, going up top to face off against the Naga, and as we would anticipate, Sven down bottom facing off against the Timber. Anything that particularly looks scary?
Well, the only shenanigans really happening will be that initial lane block on the bottom lane from XinQ, right? Got the Fisher out, and currently does have his camp blocked as well, so we'll see if he's able to handle that. Has a sentry too, so he's going to plop that right down. Just no camps happening at the moment.
This Naga Siren versus Beastmaster used to be a very big counter. Because of the boars, you can just kill the boars. He has no way to kill illusions. But the kind of development of Beast recently is putting multiple points in axes really early, which actually kind of counters these Nagas and the Terrorblades of the world. And even laning with the Zeus, they're going to have the ability to clear the Naga illusions really easily. And so I wouldn't be surprised if LGD start losing this lane when the Beastmaster hits level 3, level 5, gets more points in the axes.
Yeah, even just now, they're able to nuke down the range creep too. Not a whole lot they can do. Keep the spam going, and once the helm creep comes out, and even just getting to the helm of the Iron Will itself.
Even a Basilius right now for the Beast, but look at the Naga.
Yeah, that is not a great win rate there for the old Naga Siren, as they will take down that courier. Mira moves on in, brings it down, and the other lane to watch for, Faith Beyond. Already getting some good damage there onto the Sven for Yadaro, as Kokoschka will start to stack up the poison, but can't go for any more onto Faith Beyond.
It's maybe not the most devastating Timber pick that you're going to see, but still getting at the end of the draft here, Faith Beyond season says, yeah, I can make this hero work this game. Maybe you're not going to absolutely crush it, but still going to be a very good body for the team here. Give a lot of space towards the Death Prophet out of that mid lane, as you really don't want to be dropping her too early in these engagements. Try and get her snowballing in this one.
On the other side, the Shadow Demon's a really nice matchup versus a lot of the LGD heroes. Very good versus Death Prophet. It's a classic. When Death Prophet used to go Yules, a little worse now, but even the Cleanse is going to start mattering a lot. It'll instantly remove the Nightmare. It'll remove the Ensnare from the Naga. So it kind of gives him a lot of defensive abilities, but unfortunately it's on position 5 this game, so his items might come a little slower.
We're seeing just the constant pressure that's coming out from the Mira Zeus. When you pair together that Beastmaster aura with Zeus, who already has pretty good base damage, they're really sort of putting forward a big threat to Y in this lane.
Yeah, you can see they're all building towards magic damage. The Basilius on the Beast, which is a little interesting compared to when they go Dominator. They always just rush the Helm for the sustain in the lane, but he's playing more of a nuker. And it's also helping out the Zeus. And he doesn't even have boars at level 2, so he's going to probably go fully, maybe 3 points in the axes, and then he'll go back for the boars.
Yeah, and it just feels like LGD just have no way of really zoning or handling them at all right now. If anything, it's Y who just has to keep popping stick charges to try and stay within some range to bully and harass a little bit.
Well, definitely taking a beating. 11-1 on the Naga Siren as far as CS is concerned so far. Likewise, Sven being a little bit held down, but not too badly.
Jeez, these constant level 2 arc lightnings as well, just clearing through the illusions instantaneously.
Yeah, and that's a little bit of farm here and there too. Not bad for
It's a lot of mana though, to be fair.
It's true.
There's no stick. He's got 3 mangoes though on Mira, so open up a bit of a fruit stand up top.
The nice thing for LGD though is probably going to be the level 6 on Nothing to Say. They want to use this Exorcism probably on the mid tower to force the supports out of their lanes, give the Naga a 1v1 versus Beast. Even Timbersaw getting a 1v1 is very helpful. And their supports are pretty good at it. If XinQ gets a nice block on the high ground, that'll probably be their first big rotation.
The one lane that we haven't talked about at all is the lane that you play, Gunnar, mid lane. So far, Death Prophet sitting top of the board, 26-3 versus the 19-3. What do you expect out of this? Death Prophet always feels a bit strange to me out of mid.
It's going to be a pretty even lane, as it's already showing. The one thing Death Prophet has is I think he stacked his small camp and farmed it once, which is probably where some of his CS and the 300 gold advantage. And the other thing is that Death Prophet generally survives his burst from Tiny. So Tiny is kind of having to exist here, tank all this damage from the Spirit Siphon, and he has to let the Nothing to Say do whatever he wants in the lane. There's no pressure on him.
It is kind of painful though, what he just did. Nothing to Say nukes the wave, and Toronto doesn't even care about the Siphon. He just walks up and denies both range creeps in his face.
That part, you can make it work, is pretty cool there.
His goal is to try to delay the level 6 until after the Siege Wave, but unfortunately for him, I think Nothing to Say gets it off this wave.
Well, at the same time, Mira's going to come back, and thankfully is a Zeus, so tries to stack the Ancients, and probably going to notice that there's been a block here. Oh, speaking of a block, one down the bottom lane, but yeah, no stack here for Mira, so unfortunately doesn't go back to check. Probably would have heard the noise from stacking the other camp and won't be aware that the Ancients are currently blocked. And obviously a great way to try and slow down the speed at which Sven's trying to play the game.
You know, I think the teams had a similar idea. Calm down a little bit after that last game. 0 kills so far at 5 minutes into this one. And they're not wanting to give up any early advantage after that roller coaster that we had.
Someone should probably tell them there's not like 4 Aeon Discs and a Book of Shadows.
That's true.
And, you know, there's
The
no
heroes will
raid.
die. There's a lot less save this game. It's really only Disruption that is big save. So heroes are going to be way easier to kill for both sides, but right now the lanes are kind of calm because everyone's waiting for their level 6s. Everyone has really strong ults with Timbersaw, Beastmaster, even Death Prophet. As you can see, he pops in mid on the siege wave.
Yeah, no block there. But same rotation in from Y, just to join for this push. Going to find Mira on the side, just zoning back.
Xingqiu over ready with a fissure, but this early points in arc lighting, like you talked about, pretty good to try and keep this alive, and tosses back Y. Could be our first blood. Mira draws it on the Zeus, and that's almost arcane boots here at 6 minutes.
Oh, well, it won't be Faith Beyond this time. Someone else will get to claim it. Team Spirit, their first blood of the series.
Oh, wow, wow. Okay, so that Exorcism not working out too well for LGD, even with the Catapult Wave. Is the good rotations came from Spirit.
Yeah, it did get the 1v1s, though, right in those side lanes. So Naga Siren starting to catch up a little bit there. Faith Beyond pretty much guaranteed not to die.
And also, if you remember the last game, I know it was a long time ago, but the Nagas game was really bad. He was, I think, level 4 or 5 at the 10-minute mark.
Yes.
He was unable to take a lane, take any... But Beastmaster.
This is a nice kill if they can get it.
Nice fissure.
Collapse under control. Have a jump, but can't do it. Mira didn't have the mana. Toronto Tokyo trying to find onto Xingqiu Shaker. Mira right there. It's hit with the Enchant Totem, but Xingqiu will not be punished. So they make another good move, and that Earthshaker showing why it's so valuable.
It's going to feel a little bad. The Timbersaw now is his free lane. He's level 6. Sven has to, you know, probably leave the lane, go jungle. Shadow Demon takes mid, but this is where the Tiny starts falling behind. The Death Prophet's almost half a level above him, and you know this Blink Dagger is a really big timing. But every second he's not hitting a creep is a second he's not getting Blink Dagger.
Yeah, and he's gonna be giving him a lot of that space. Trying to find something here. Wise there with the Nightmare, though.
Nicely played. Mira was hoping to get in range so he could go for the Heavenly Jump, but not going to happen.
And look at bot. Faith Beyond's just taking this tower by himself, and Yatoro can't even approach the lane to push it out.
Maposhka's actually going to TP down here now as well.
All right, level 5 versus level 6. Maposhka running aggressively into Faith Beyond.
Oh,
Disruption. Nice. Is this going in for the all-in? Faith Beyond tries to TP out. If it's stacked,
wants one more.
Back up, not going to get it there.
Yeah, he knew. He knew he needed 5 charges, but he wasn't going to be able to get it, so tried the early pop before the regen would be in.
Nice play, kicks him out, but he was low mana. He's going to reset his resources, go back bot. And this bot tower opening up is probably going to also allow Ame to kind of take his position on the map and get... This is where he accelerates.
He wants it. He's just toteming. He's going in.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Does he get it? He could go in for another round.
One more?
He did the math.
He put it into Naira.
He's like, I don't have the damage.
Perfect. Does he go in? Is this enough? Yeah, good job. Xingqiu gets the tower gold.
Exorcism's off cooldown. We might see this Timbersaw now rotate to the mid lane, try to get more pressure. The LGD is always kind of be constantly ready to run at the side of Team Spirit. I think Sven is going to have a really hard time fighting into LGD this game until he gets, I think, a BKB probably?
Yeah.
He doesn't even have one queued up.
And that's going to be a while until he's ready to join these fights.
If you look at his quick buy, he has a Basket Madness, an Echo Saber, a Blink Dagger queued. He wants to just farm.
Ooh, tried to toss back, but didn't quite keep that vision on Toronto Tokyo. So another one of these rotations for Tiny where he's not connecting and falling further behind the Death Prophet.
Yeah, he's the least last hits of all the cores right now. So he just sits up here trying to enable his Beastmaster. Thinks about the roar, but the TP comes through from Faith Beyond. He's going to plant himself up here now and give the rest of the map over to Ame.
And killing a creep for all he's worth. Helm of the Dominator tries to run away. Ooh, does a little jukey juke. Runs back the other direction. Still baiting down some mana.
Collapse isn't even moving his
Can they kill it off? Does he manage to take over another creep in the meantime? Does he go for it? No. Collapse is just standing still, microing it.
Meanwhile, in all that chaos, there is a smoke here from LGD.
Interesting.
Wise going to walk up the hill. Going to find the Tiny.
Not level 6 yet. Avatos. Couple punches. Stun is there. Toronto Tokyo picks up the kill.
Farm through those camps as well. Just got done with the Ancients. Now 10 minutes can go back with that same God Strength. So perfect timing here for Yadaro.
You can see that Ame pretty much just switched places with Faith Beyond, and now Faith Beyond's the one being pressured top.
Can they kill him off? Pop the Shadow Demon ulti. Trying to burn through him.
Still has Soul Catcher.
So far, interrupting. The Soul Catcher's ready.
Oh, the dropping
the
items.
Stacking. Okay.
He needed that perfect bit of mana.
Well done.
Got to maximize the potentials there from Maposhka.
I thought he was just dropping items for fun.
But we can just go with that.
Exorcism popped in the mid lane, but Mira's going to try and hold him off.
Siege number 2, but this is really hard. The Zeus is really good hero at pushing waves off the tower. He just can pull them, he can jump away. So nothing to say, has to kind of play under the trees and hope for the best at this point, especially with no Faith Beyond. And they're losing the top tower for this, so not really feeling that good for LGD.
Oh, this is like the Leshrac things that you use out of your W, not your ultimate for them to say.
Oh, why? Gonna find himself Yadaro. Can't get the Nightmare in time, though, and has to be aware that the Tiny's still nearby.
Heroes mid from LGD.
I mean,
committing for this.
I don't want to fight this Timbersaw right now.
Well, they're still in the area. Silence is out, which stops any action from the Tiny, but they keep that tier 1 tower alive while Collapse took the top.
Now Collapse gets all this jungle, and LGD's probably next move is going to use this Timbersaw to kick him out of the big jungle. If Beastmaster gets to live here for 2-3 more minutes, this is when his items start getting pretty crazy. He gets the Helm of the Overlord too early. And anytime you kill his creep even, it's another minute that he kind of slows down.
That earlier kill there working out somewhat, but managing to get the Hellbear right after. And there is just the Timbersaw up top. They have the Thunder God's Wrath. Maposhka is ready with all of his abilities again. Are they thinking about going on Timber?
He might be too tanky with those two heroes. They had the Tiny there last time, I think.
Right.
Yep.
The biggest difference in this game, I think, is that Naga's having a good game. He's not top of the net worth just because of how much the Spear has had the map, but he's going to accelerate much faster than he did last game.
Toronto Tokyo hunting and pushing the Timbersaw away from his own jungle, in fact. So Team Spirit keep the pressure in.
Still no Blink on the Tiny. He's not even that close. Even Earthshaker's about the same gold as him in terms of Blink.
Yeah, it really shows like how long he was like lurking in the tree lines, waiting for something to happen out of that mid lane once he was sort of kicked out of there.
But even on the...
Oh, nice sentry here. Oh, Maposhka, turn around. There you go. Oh, man, sentry caught there.
It doesn't feel too bad because if you look at his cores, they're having such good games, and it's all off his rotations around the map.
Yeah, particularly Yadaro. But yeah, you know, as I said, that though, of course, it is starting to add up for Ame. Every single level, just more and more damage, more illusions out there right now, and farming very close towards that Manta. This Collapse continues to pressure that top lane, and they lie in wait here to see if there's going to be an overextension by Team Spirit. But Maposhka's just going to casually sit under this ward and throw out some Shadow Poisons with his Arcane Boots.
Yeah, this is, if they can clear through this and sort of get away with it, this feels pretty good for Team Spirit.
Yeah, I mean, they're just shutting down that part of the farm. You know, Yadaro's on the bottom, pushing out the wave, trying to farm a little bit of his own jungle as the Naga illusions come through. Toronto Tokyo just waits for a moment where he can actually kill somebody.
The scariest thing right now for LGD is that this Naga Manta is mostly just a farming tool. You get it for more illusions to cut more waves and get more map, but it's nothing really to actually hit the heroes. And I think Yataro made the read on the Naga, which is why he's going so greedy with the Echo, the Mask of Menace, and the Blink before his BKB. So he's going to hit his timing at the same time as Naga, but he's going to be a lot stronger at that timing, just on the amount of items he has.
Might be on Zeus, too, with that early First Blood and then getting so much farm pulling that mid wave in. He's almost at the Shard. This is Shard gold before 15 minutes.
Yeah, with Arcane Boots and plenty of consumables in there as well, so certainly a great feeling. And now something to enable Toronto Tokyo before that Blink Dagger will be an Invis rune here, so possibly go for a smoke play off of that, but currently they're just happy holding the line that they've got right now, right? Still Maposhka sitting in the same spot, farming up these neutral camps, denying from the side of LGD. Collapse, holds the wave there, has his creeps as well.
Yeah, unfortunately for LGD, they don't really have a hero that can start a play themselves. Fissure only works so well that you have to have a hero that can also follow up, but Death Prophet kind of just exists for damage. Timbersaw only exists for damage. You know, it's all on this Bane at this point. The Naga won't really show up to fights.
And it comes back to show how important it was that they saved that tower mid for Team Spirit. Like, if they weren't able to get that little pull off to the side from Mira, fight back at these exorcisms from the Death Prophet. they wouldn't have as much control over the map right now. It could be a little bit more vulnerable. With the weaker initiations from LGD, missing that tower could have been something that gave them an opportunity for a wraparound.
It's worth noting, you have a smoke up with this Blink Dagger reveal now, and Timbersaw going in very far. Are they going to turn onto him, actually? Toss back, they get the disruption, no hood for you. That is not going to be any active ability. Thunder God's Wrath and Faith Beyond goes down. Just like that, Team Spirit, after 15 minutes, they've only lost one tower against the Death Prophet. And it's come at the cost of Naga being the top net worth hero, but we'll see if that ends up mattering, because right now they're walking into the pit. Are they just going to try and take Roche?
I got to respect for XinQ's farming right now. Just like right next to the tier 2 down bottom, he wants his Blink Dagger, knows his team desperately needs it, but they've got the read. The no initiation, the difficulties to fight here from LGD sends Team Spirit into the pit for an early first Aegis. That's going to put the timing of the second Roche at around 25 minutes.
This is wild too, because normally you'd be able to come and contest this with Naga Siren, but not really feeling confident coming on over and using the song to interrupt. So Aegis going to be claimed. They even glyph the mid tier 1 towers. So LGD, can they finish this one off? Do they feel comfortable sticking around? It looks like they are. Collapse moves on in with the big creep. They lose the tower.
You can see the big difference right now, and Spirit has so many heroes that can, if you walk into them, they'll catch you, and they can even catch you on their own. They have the Tiny with the Blink now, they have all the vision for Beastmaster and Roar, they have Shadow Demon, and it's kind of lackluster for LGD. Their goal with their draft was to take these towers with the Death Prophet really early, and kind of just play the map with Naga, but because of the way Spirit defended this mid-tier 1, they're kind of stuck on their side of the map until probably the Shaker Blink.
Yeah, and now it feels like they're kind of waiting for Ame, whereas you're supposed to be like kind of making time for the Naga Siren in a sense and like still progressing onto Team Spirit's side of the map, but now they actually need Ame to join in. They're going to be waiting for this Scotty to see if they can actually take some fights at that point.
Yeah, and Collapse is just at a free lane, or a free game rather.
Yeah,
he's just in the jungle by himself.
Free.
He got to the max axis, so the Naga counterpick didn't really matter. He's just been top. I think Miposhka's has kind of been bodyguarding him here, breaking all the smokes, and even he's not dying because of all the vision from the Hawks.
Yeah, it's funny. We've seen it so much from like an Enchantress or something who has this very stable body, but the fact that he can just stand there, spam poison, is always under a ward, is able to farm camps while just providing mana as well over to his Beastmaster. Like, this is a perfect combo, and if you try to initiate, try and get close to Miposhka, maybe you get disrupted, or maybe you get turned around with the Demonic Purge.
So we're going to see probably a big move from Spirit to this top tier 2. Usually the first stages you don't really worry too much about the tier 2 towers, but because they have a Beastmaster with this Helm of the Overlord so early, they probably can just take a really early tower.
Well, it is already a ton of pressure on, and I mean, as we've seen from LGD, it was a scary game number 2. They're not really willing to risk another fall behind here in game number 3. Feels like the damage dealt at this point in time has not really been into their favor. As the smoke up comes, there is a ward over on that high ground, which they're going to head on in and de-ward, but they spot the big target. And again, finding this big old Timbersaw at this point in time. Can he get out? Oh, the grip from the low ground. Why? Interrupting, but they have the disable. Faith Beyond still buying time. Tiny, he's in very far. They have a roar available. Why? Gets hit.
Oh,
oh, they interrupted it.
He lost the blink.
Oh, the Thunder God's Wrath. It came at the perfect moment, but will it make up for the rest of this fight? XinQ still gets on top of Toronto Tokyo, and nothing to say with this exorcism is doing work. Yadaro turns on in, but there's the song. To try and interrupt this. The buyback comes out. Timbersaw ready to go for round 2. They're all grouped up together. Buddy gets the blink away. Mira just scoots on out of there.
They both blinked?
They did nothing.
Mira
that was everything. That was a buyback.
Oh, you'll have to sacrifice Mira, but you will take that. He tried to do a really cool play, right? Faithion trying to Timber Chain through at that like perfect moment and see if he can find that damage. But
I think even nothing to say, trying to get his Crypt Storm off on both of them.
Yeah.
But unfortunately.
Man. Big blink and a buyback.
That was like the perfect scenario. I can't even imagine a better situation for a Naga Siren in this game where like you're trying to find a fight, but the initiations are tough and they're all down. You get the song on 3 of them like that.
And the blink cancel too. XinQ was so close to hitting that moment, and we've seen him do it time and again.
I love that too, coming down to Vision, being up on that high ground, right? You can see XinQ sends the courier up there now. He's going to get that D-ward, but certainly a frustrating thing to try and fight into.
And even now, Yatoro almost at his BKB, which we were worried about how...
I didn't even know when this was coming, you know?
But like they catch him, and Timbersaw, you think he's tanky, but when there's so much, like the damage numbers are so high, he dies so quickly.
Oh, and this too as well, you know, looking for it. Look how grouped they are too, like all the units and everything. XinQ's just looking for the big echo to try and catch Mira and Collapse, and then the Thunder God's Wrath ruining it for them too.
again, they swirl up and take down that Shadow Demon very quickly when Ame is right on top of them.
I'm really surprised they get the blink out at the end. I definitely thought at least like one of them would be tagged up instantaneously. It's like playing against a couple of pucks, you know?
Bang, bang, they're away.
A little unfortunate, but LGD is still really strong as long as they're able to abuse the Naga.
As long as they don't get caught right out of the get-go.
This looks familiar.
Why? Found. It's not the real Naga Siren there. And Yadaro gives up the chase instead.
Oh, Poshka, he actually did find the real one right now. There's a toss in 2 seconds.
Do they have the damage, though? They have the ulti on him. Trying to burn through it. The root. He has another avalanche. Connects onto all of them. And the stun! Toronto Tokyo cleans up the kill. And they're going to take this tier 2 tower.
Back to the tower. Confidence with the vision in the tree line. Not worried about some sort of a TP there.
You know, LGD just does not look like they have the answers. And Team Spirit, they woke up after that game too. Not so sure about LGD as they are struggling to find any answers, now falling 5k gold behind.
The hardest part is being able to walk into Spirit's trap. I think Beastmaster is one of these heroes you can't give a good start to. And you especially can't walk into him without your whole team there. And they just have the Bane there alone. They have the Naga there kind of close by, but it's not enough to kick this hero out of your jungle.
Yeah, it's a real problem when you recognize that he's getting a free lane and you still can't do anything about it. You know, they just look at this, and he had the body from Maposhka there. They couldn't really smoke into it, couldn't enable the Timbersaw in a way he could get there, and their only solution was to try and get Xingqiu an earlier Blink Dagger, and now he's struggled to get anything off in these fights.
It starts feeling really bad when you know you can't even make a smoke there with 5 heroes, and you just have to dodge the Beastmaster for the whole game. But when they keep dodging, the Sven getting tri-camp for 3, 4, 5 minutes because of this is one of the best heroes to take it.
Yeah, they got the block at the start, but then constant stacks in there from Mira as well. I even saw some boars going back and getting some stacks set up there too. So they're making sure Yadaro has a great game on the Sven. It is a bit of a more unusual of a hero.
I got to imagine that in these games that are so pivotal, you want to have heroes that can do stuff, that can make moves on the map. Mira
That's the move.
will be found, but the Heavenly Jump tries to get him away. Fissure, it's out. Ava, toss. Do they have the damage? No. He throws him away.
It took him a second there, you know. That cast time increase could be something.
No, but they just back out. And this is the type of play that I feel like LGD needed right now to get on the map and make some action happen. Unfortunately, it's with the EXO and no objectives.
Yeah, that's a little asterisk at the end, you know.
It's true.
The big question is whether the Naga is going to carry late game. He's going so many defensive items. He's going Scotty into a heart, and then eventually a nullifier. But I think even if the Sven notices this nullifier is being bought, if he buys the shard, it makes his Warcry unpurgeable.
That's right, yeah.
And this damage, the damage is going to start being low from LGD. This Timbersaw, I think, was actually probably the biggest hero they needed for damage. And his game has not been particularly great.
You can see right there just the pure difference in what these heroes do early and what might happen as the game goes later. They blink in, smoke does not break. Now Ame is down and to the right of this, in between those towers. Doesn't look like they're going to find it, but instead could hunt behind the tier 2 where Maposhka is set up. Ward down, that's scouted, they see it, yeah.
Instantly spotted there.
But
try and protect that ward for a second here.
And in the meantime, it's going to be creeps hitting tier 2 and no answer. LGD, they've got to do what Team Spirit did in the last one and stall this game out.
It's a little scary for them. I think the Shivas is really big on the Timber because there's so much like health and movement speed on the side of Spirit that they really need these long fights, and they really need the Naga to also be able to enter these fights. But his health is just not enough to take on the Sven and the Tiny right now.
And one stun feels like he can just go down, especially when you're dealing with a Soul Catcher as well. Get caught with that right at the beginning, it's something you're losing 35% of your HP.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the damage numbers, but Mirror's having such a great game. I think he was the highest damage in the game. And it shows how much the shard does when you get it just at 15 minutes.
Yeah, percentage-based, very scary for a Timbersaw. And now sitting in the Radiant Triangle, Mira has his eyes set on something a little bit big there with an Aghanim Scepter. I don't know if we'll get that far anytime soon, but obviously a real
LGD
securing item.
Trying to bait that Arcane Rune, but there's no follow-up to the bait.
We can see Maposhka has Aether Lens and a shard queued up, and he's going to have it really soon. And as we said earlier, this is a really nice game for the shard. Anyone he uses it on can't get controlled by Bane or Naga, and he can even disrupt the grip. So a lot of plays that are going to be kind of canceled out by it.
Yes, we did some testing, don't worry. You can knock a Nightmare if you've been cleansed. You can also cleanse off a Nightmare. We got in there, made sure.
Big plays.
For the people.
Just for you.
Yep.
Saw there a couple of sorries come out from Faith Beyond too. Sorry about giving up that Arcane away. It's interesting. It's seen sort of the way that they're trying to dodge away from these fights. And for Team Spirit, I mean, still a little bit of time left until Roche is going to respawn. They have kind of taken over this area. There's that one ward right above the Roche pit that LGD have. But I think that we have the Beastmaster shard done too.
This is kind of looking like a all eggs in one basket again for LGD, where Ame is kind of their one big ticket to victory, and it's not a great Naga game. There's a Shadow Demon. We've seen it's a great success earlier. Thankfully, Ame does not go for the Ags, so it won't get countered that hard. But even taking the illusions, Zeus clears illusions really nicely. Sven's picked just to deal with the Naga in this type of game.
Yeah, it feels like there's going to be fights now where Team Spirit are going to have more Naga illusions than LGD.
That's Radiance. Okay. Ame, a little
year is
blast
this?
from the past. Let's go, let's go.
And, you know, you got to get creative. It's versus a Beastmaster and a Sven. That's a pretty great choice in terms of the evasion.
Very interesting.
He's probably worried about if you buy health for Zeus, it never feels good. You buy this heart and his damage. He's supposed to just do more damage the more health you have. So he's probably trying to get a mixture of just dealing enough damage to kill them and also not having to enter the fight with his hero.
Yeah, the evasion's great survivability, so good choice here.
Although already Sven has the MKB queued up and is building towards it. And into the pit they're going to go potentially as 20 seconds until Roche is going to respawn. But these waves, they're going to get shoved out, that is for sure. It's Radiance Illusions.
Unfortunately,
Also going to be pretty helpful for the Shadow Demon.
Yeah, the Shadow Demon can just take the illusions. They're going to be even stronger. They have so many auras on the side of Spirit. Their team fight is really scary. They have all the Beastmaster. Beastmaster's whole goal is just to keep auras. So when you get a Naga with a Radiance, you just add one to that.
They're going to kill off the dragon. Does not quite look like it. Thunder God's Wrath used, backs away. Big old avalanche, the toss to follow. The BKB already used in CQ. I think that was another Echo Slam whiff.
Oh, I love the D ward.
Can they do any more? BKB from Yatoro turns on to nothing to say, trying to bring him down. Meanwhile, Ame finding that Tiny, the control coming from ZQ, but he just destroyed nothing to say. Yatoro all over him. Faith Beyond looking for anything, something. LGD, where's this fight supposed to go? Toronto Tokyo barely missed from it. They jump on in, the brain sap, it's not enough. They walk back in, kill the Bay, they're all done. GG. LGD is broken.
Whew. Well, that game got away from them very, very quickly. Only hope for them really near the end was going to have to be Ame, and they just decided that Ame wasn't going to be enough to carry this one.
We took a reset from the last game.
Pretty much.
Naga didn't get the items. Naga didn't have the time. And this Sven pick, I was kind of worried about it, but it worked out.
He got so much space.
He
I mean,
did.
collapse, right?
I think Collapse on the Beastmaster is kind of the unsung hero. He didn't get many kills, but just the ability to hold this map, even the lane.
Yeah.
They picked Naga to beat him in the lane, and it just does nothing.
Yeah, that duo too. Like the fact that Poshka moving up there nice and early, the way they just planted themselves in that territory, they shut down everything that they wanted to do on the side of LGD, and